We are good to go. All right, everyone. I do want to thank you. This is episode number 22 of the Michael Ryder Show. Today, I have a very old friend of mine, Alex Smith, is coming on the show today. How you been, man?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
Just living every day. Just kind of going one thing at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
man. Oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna. No, that's okay. I was gonna say that's about the way we're getting now. It's about the only way to do it, man. Just one day at a time.
Yeah, man.
It's-
Because I feel like, man, if you stress too much about it, especially when I was younger, I feel like, man, if you don't do it like this, you're gonna be a fucking failure or whatever. You know,
oh yeah, definitely. Like yeah. Which I'm like right on the line. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like trying to figure out like, oh, you graduate, go to college, or do I do this or what? You don't want to mess it up, but. Eventually you just stop worrying about that shit. You're just trying to find something that make you happy during the day, just one little thing. Just keep
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Uh,
What are you drinking on there?
Modelo's. I got
Modelo's.
yeah,
Oh,
I had been really killing the Heinekens lately and stuff like that, but just trying to mix it up and like when I'm at band practice and stuff like that, we're always just crushing Bud Light, so it's whatever.
so how do you like Modelo?
Yeah, it's actually it's like really easy to drink, but it still tastes like beer. Like it's got that beer flavor, but it's not too strong on the aftertaste or anything, so it goes
I
down pretty easy.
I I had a little Modelo kick for a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. You know, mm, it's like it was one of those beers that didn't it had a weird taste at first, but after so long, the taste got better to it. I really
Yeah.
feel like. I really
Yeah,
do.
it kind of sets in there. I mean, it's hard to if you're drinking like switch beers back and forth like in the same day, but yeah, it's not a crappy taste.
No, no,
It's not Sam
no.
Adams or something.
Dude, Sam Adams tastes like shit.
It's rough, man. It's rough. But,
And then I remember, man, it was right after I had just turned 21, man. I went to a bar and I was so excited to drink. And they ran out of Bud Light and Coors Light, and that was what I was drinking at the time. And they had Yingling. And
nice.
yeah. Oh, I mean, I woke up with the worst fucking hangover. That
Yeah.
shit sucked.
It did. I
It tastes
remember.
like shit. It tastes like
Yeah,
shit.
it did. Well, it
I don't know.
did, but like I remember when it got really popular around here,
Yeah.
and everybody, it was. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good, but I don't drink it that often. Every now and then, I'll get down with some Yingling, but it's not. That's not an everyday beer.
No, no, no. I still drink it every now and then, but now you were talking about your band and everything like that when we were talking about that before. So what kind of music do you guys go? What kind of music do you play? How long you guys been together?
Uh,
Stuff like
yeah, man. It gets harder and harder to define it. With like one word. I think.
that.
We've been together. I think it's coming up on 2 years. Like I say that confidently, but it just. I think we got together in 2019, so. Yeah, the last year's just been a fucking mess, and a blur. So about 2 years, and initially we're just falling under like a punk genre, but I'm not I wasn't a punk musician like when I was learning. I was always into like the '80s rock or metal. Uh, so the music's kind of evolved a little bit. So there's just tons of variation and flavor in the music. So basically, I just try and say whatever sounds good to us.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're playing. So
So so you said you were very influenced by the '80s metal. What was
yeah.
some of those bands that you were influenced by that you would love to be with, or anyone to be around with in that
Yeah,
time frame?
yeah, man. I remember the when I was younger and starting to develop, it was always Ozzy Osbourne stuff like that, and I always remember my parents like blasting like Molly Crew, like Dr. Feelgood stuff like that, and it didn't really click. And then, yeah, one day I don't remember where I was going, but I had to have been in high school, and I was driving this piece of shit Toyota Corolla. Like, it's just taking everything it's got to hit like 65 on the interstate. And the radio just it starts playing the first three notes of Kickstart by Heart by Motley Crue. And I was getting ready to turn the radio off because I didn't know what it was. And then it got into it and I was like, fuck yeah, what is, and then I figured it out. And after that, everything, my whole life just went, well, I'm unsuccessful now. It's all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like that 80s. So Motley Crue, Poison, all that kind of stuff. All that 80s stuff is my base plate, when it comes to music. As I'm getting a little older now too, it's really weird. I'll find myself like listening to Rihanna, stuff like that, or Adele. Is stuff you wouldn't expect me to be listening to, but love it.
Do you find yourself doing it? Because I have the same problem myself. Like shit that you would have listened to in high school, would say you wouldn't have listened to in high school. Do you find yourself listening to them more now?
Yeah, yes. And I think part of it might come from playing in a band, like playing heavy music all the time, that my ears just want to break. But two, it's also just kind of relaxing. Like I could look up the music I've been listening to, but yeah, a lot of that like pop or R&B or just whatever. And then I'm sitting there catching myself like, dude, I'm like this metal dude who wears like leather and shit like that. And I'm sitting here like blasting, these pop bitches, Lady Gaga and shit in my kitchen at like 2 a.m. Like, dude, it's no joke. It really happens. And I'm so into it, man. It's, yeah.
Hey, I mean, I find myself in the same, not in the Lady Gaga terms, but I used to really, really hate Fall Out Boy back in the day.
Yeah, well, they were so that whole, I don't know if because someone's gonna kick my ass if I'm wrong about something with music, but I think they fell under that kind of like emo scene kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so like Fall Out Boy and all that kind of shit, Paramore, bands like that.
Yeah, I see. I was more into at the time, my dad, raised me up on the 80s scene, like Rat, Motley Crue, Poison, Cinderella, shit like that. And, Alice in Chains and the grunge scene. And as I got older, I found these bands like Nirvana. Some kid I remember in middle school, my parents had divorced and I'd moved to South Hills with my mom. And I went to John Adams, and this kid had I'd maybe been in school for maybe a month, and he gave me this blank CD, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard Nirvana before?" And I was like, I heard Nirvana. I never fully listened to it in my head, and I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And I put in my CD player. Man, I listened to that motherfucker probably for 2 months straight, and all it was one song and one song only. That was "Smells Like Teen Spirit," just on repeat. That's all it was, and that really opened me up to the grunge scene, more in Soundgarden, Stone Temple, all those guys.
Yeah, dude, there was nothing greater too back then than getting, I mean, it's a CD, but like a mix from somebody. Cause you could find all kinds of shit on there, but a lot of music too that I discovered I wouldn't think that I liked was like when I took guitar lessons stuff, I had to learn songs that I didn't even know. So like I'm having to listen to like the Beatles or Jimi Hendrix, stuff like that, or CCR, like, and then I learned that I like these songs. So then it becomes, it's weird how you can just pick up songs from wherever. The worst thing I hate though is if you're in your car and you hear a song on the radio that you don't know, but you're like, that's catchy as fuck, and you can't figure. You spend like 2 months trying to figure out what a song is. Like
Shazam, man.
Yeah,
I
finally got it. I finally got it, dude. It's that the first time that happened to me, it was weird. It was later in life, I got really into Led Zeppelin, like past maybe 5 years or so, and they have a song "Full in the Rain."
And it was on. I love that song.
Yeah, it was on the radio. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And then I just remember, I don't remember where I was, but I stopped the car like right there, and I hit the Shazam thing. There's like people honking and shit. I was like, "No, I gotta figure out what this car is." I just go around me, like
go around me, bitch.
Yeah. And after that, just the whole Led Zeppelin thing, like, yeah. So it's cool. Yeah. I just like I like that feeling like when you find not just a song but a group you like, and you have that oh shit.
Yeah,
It's
that in itself is a beautiful feeling. And even go back to the 80s. Now we're getting to that point now where you basically heard every single song almost, it feels like. So that feeling of it, man, like, never, we've heard that hundreds of times, man, but there's something about that decade. There really is. There's something about that.
And it sucks that we're never going to have that decade again,
No. Yeah.
Like we're starting to, it's like right now, I don't know what your thoughts was on Greta Van Fleet, but they kind of have that Led Zeppelin sound to it. I'm like, we might be starting to maybe come back, but you're never going to have arenas with like 40,000 people in it, selling out again. That's
I like Greta Van Fleet. When I first heard them, I think it was like 2017, 2018. And that was when they first came out. And I was like, man, they sound like fucking Led Zeppelin. I was
when I first heard them, I used to turn the radio off. It was that Safari song that it was always on Rock 105. Yeah, and every time I heard it, I was like, God, I hate this. I hate and then next thing you know, I'm catching myself in the kitchen like singing it or whatever, and I was like, great. Yeah. Now I like it. So,
man,
but
it's one of those things. Like it's, when we grew up. If you consider our music, our decade of music, I really consider myself a 2000s, early 2010s guy. Yeah. That's my era right there. When it comes to rock music, stuff like that. 3 Days Grace. I even like some Disturbed, Shine Down, stuff like that. They're not, great band. They're not like. When you think about great rock bands, they're not up there.
Yeah.
There's something about the 2000s that nobody likes. Nobody likes.
Yeah, like if you mention, like if someone says they like Nickelback, they're saying it to themselves. Like,
and the thing is, Nickelback was probably the greatest selling rock band of the 2000s.
Yeah, and then something switched, and everybody's like, "Fuck Nickelback!" Like, it's
How did you feel about Nickelback? Were you?
Well, I was still relatively young. Like, now, you wouldn't catch me listening to it unless I know nobody's around. Like, but I was like early teens, or like 12, 13, 11, somewhere in there. And I remember the popularity, but so it's okay, But it's one of those like, don't hate it, don't love it. Like if it was on, I'm not gonna change it. It's fine. It's music.
So if you were in 8th grade and Rockstar came on, or 9th grade, and you were watching MTV in the morning, would you stay and watch it?
Yeah, I would stay and watch it. And that that's something I fucking miss, was the music videos, because You could be sitting there watching like a Kiss music video or something, and next thing you know, 50 Cent's on. There was no it was just video after video. It's cool. Like I started even getting into rap music a little bit with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know I haven't turned on MTV in like 15 years, but the crap that's on there is not music videos anymore.
I would. Speaking of actual music videos and watching them, I have YouTube TV at home.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love everything about it, but there is a channel on there. I get MTV Classic. And they have like an 80s hour, and they have a rock block. They have, and that rock block is fucking sweet, because it's legit rock that we grew up with. And it also has you can have anything from Scorpions to Journey to Muse to 3 Days Grace, to anything of that. And that is pretty sweet. That was really cool. They even have like a 90s block. And there's something about watching a music video on TV. There really is. I could go on my Xbox right now and I could pull up any music video I want from any time.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. But whenever you see it on TV, there's something about it. There's something about it that makes it better.
It does, especially too if it was if it's new, like music, because you just want to see what someone's coming up with, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, yeah. I same way. Like if I'm gonna search music, whether it's YouTube or what, it's funny. I don't really mess with like Spotify and all that shit too much. Like
Mhm.
seems kind of obnoxious, but yeah, I don't. I always don't click the one that's a video. I'm just clicking, the one that's just the audio by itself. But yeah, if I saw one on TV, I'm enamored by it. I want to watch it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I remember the last time that I remember of our generation that had music videos on TV. Um, Honestly, I remember a lot of eighth grade,
Yeah,
which that would have been. I remember there was a lot of Fall Out Boy. It would have been, oh fuck, what's that Fall Out Boy song? The one that I'm gonna have to look that up. It was one of their first ones that came out. It had Feel Good incorporated by Gorillaz was
oh
on
yeah, that's a
there. So it had been
yeah, yeah, I
2005.
remember seeing
Yeah.
the gorilla shit too, like on MTV. And what they do is so cool that they don't, that they actually don't have people, doing the shit.
No,
I
yeah,
like
that.
that. Yeah,
Oh, that's. I love the Gorillaz. I love them.
yeah,
Like they're what was that fucking? Here it is. Oh, Sugar We're Going Down. That's what the video was. Yes, Sugar We're Going
yeah.
Down. Yeah,
I
and
remember that.
yeah, man. You know them. Who else was on there? Backcountry by Ben Sevenfold
Yeah,
was around that time. Now, the last time that I remember any type of music videos in the morning was when Slipknot came out with Dead Memories. Was their second
yeah.
single off of fuck, what's that album they had? This is one.
Psychosocial.
Yeah, it was the album off Psychosocial. All Hope Is Gone. That
Oh,
album.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When that album dropped, that was I remember seeing Dead Memories on MTV in the morning. That was the last time, and that we've been juniors that year. That was the
Yeah.
last time that I remember. That was 2008. That's the last time I
I
remember that.
I the I kind of remember that. The one I remember better with the whole music videos, and then like Slipknot is when they had the volume 3, and then I think it was either Before I Forget or something. It had all those, like, they were in an old shitty house and like had all those kids in there and stuff like that. They had a music video like that. That's the last one I really remember. And then after that, it's like music videos don't exist anymore. I mean, they do. People put them online, but it's not the
Yeah.
same thing.
No, no.
So
Now, I want to ask you. This is basically there's two parts to this question. If you had to pick a rock band from our lifetime, that's the great.
our
That's
life.
the best. And then also, what's the best rock band of all time?
If I think it'd be of our time, it's a lot harder because the problem for me was I didn't get into it that much.
Yeah.
Like, uh, if it gets harder for me to name bands after like 2000 than it is for me to name like 40 bands right now from 1970 to 1990. But of all time, it's hard, man. I'm probably gonna go with like Black Sabbath or like Led Zeppelin, somewhere in there, just because it doesn't matter what someone listens to, they know the name. Even if they don't
Yeah.
know the music, they know the name.
Definitely.
That
Definitely.
takes something. But during our time, I'm gonna go with something. When we would have, it would have been out in high school when we're like teenagers, stuff like that. It's hard for me to say what I think would be the best, just because it might not even be my
Yeah.
favorite. But I remember that whole thing being really popular, like Avenged Sevenfold, Atreyu, that kind of stuff. So maybe one of
Trey,
those
you.
bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's there was bands too, like Mastodon.
That's
Like they were around our time. I mean, they still are. They're still doing shit. But I didn't know that I liked them. See, I didn't take the time to listen to them. So I just got into Mastodon the past 2 or 3 years, even though they've been around, a lot longer. So there's probably music out there I don't know of that could be like the best of our time. I just don't know who they are. See, but
Yeah. I mean that is a tough question. You know.
yeah,
Now to the question of who's the greatest rock band in my opinion. You know, the top two that you even said, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, man, if I had a pick, I love Led Zeppelin. I love
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. I love Black Sabbath. You know, but man, if I have to go with the greatest, you know, it has not changed. It's Pink Floyd. I have.
Dude, see, I didn't think about that. Like, Jesus. Yeah, because too, like, I mean, sure, they're on the radio all the time, but they have some songs that are, more chill. So they have a bigger audience of people listening to it. So, yeah, yep. I mean, Pink Floyd definitely, it's up. Yeah, I'd say that'd be right there with that. Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd.
You know, when I ask people this, and I've asked, I've had a couple people on here. We've talked about this. Those two names come up was Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and that's where a lot of people, it splits. You got the heavy metal, and you got this and that. But man, there's something about Pink Floyd, man. There's something about whenever, like, say, like a Run Like Hell comes on.
Yeah.
And you just oh man,
yeah,
there's something about
just getting ready for it. Yeah.
There's something about it.
Yeah, it's good. And it's crazy to think that these people did something in their lives that we're talking about, 30, 40 years later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the fuck was going, was going on back then, but they've done, something with just a 3-minute song that, 40 years later, we're like, listen to this right now. Like, it's crazy. I think that's my problem is right now. I don't honestly believe there's any current bands that's going to have music people are listening to 40 years from now is what I think.
So you don't think there's any band, so not just from today. Now, do you see if there's anyone from like the 2000s or anything like that? So from 2000s up, is there anyone that anyone would be listening to 40 years from now?
I mean, I think there might be just a few, and I'm not gonna, think of their names, especially when I'm on the spot. But I'm saying I think would be a lot less bands would be a safer thing to say. Instead of having 30, 40, 50 bands that people are talking to, there might be 10. There might be 10 bands 40 years from now that people are still talking about or listening to. So, and I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe, I don't know, it's the world's different or just the way they write music or something like that. But the bands come and go, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, they still might be out playing music like Fall Out Boy or, Paramore or something like that. They still might be jamming, but they're not in headlines.
No.
People's not wearing a t-shirt right now.
Now, I will say if there's one rock band, I actually maybe two. The two that come to mind from our generation itself. Maybe you can probably go three. I would have to say Linkin Park. Linkin Park is one that will probably, I'm a huge Linkin Park man. I love them. I got to see them live, fortunately, before Chester and everything passed.
Yeah.
But I really feel like Linkin Park is one of those that could possibly stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Get people to listen to. If I have kids, I mean, they're probably gonna be going to school listening to Linkin Park.
But yeah, see, and that's the thing is I didn't Linkin Park, but Linkin Park was huge.
Yeah.
Like,
do you remember your first Linkin Park album, or did you listen to them?
Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid Theory, yeah.
I mean, it was the first one, but then I still remember when they did, the Meteora and the like when they did the remix. I don't know if it's called Reanimation or something like that.
Yeah, Reanimation, yeah.
But I remember I think my brother turned me onto them though, and I think he discovered them on fucking music television, watching MTV. You'd see a Linkin Park music video, and I think that's where he got it from. It's really weird that how we got music back then, because it wasn't so much the internet then. I mean, the internet was still kind of young, so it was more like your friends handing you a CD, just being like, "This is pretty cool." Man, but Linkin.
That's a good point, man. That's a fucking great point, because I remember the first time I ever got a Linkin Park CD, and this is 2000, so we would have been probably 8, 9 years old, maybe something like that. And my grandparents had got me, we went to, I think it was Walmart or Target or Kmart. It was one of those
Walmart.
places.
Well, you went to
Yeah.
Walmart if your parents were buying it, but like Kmart had the non-edited CDs. They didn't have the.
Nah, I mean, you can't have the edited CDs.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Right.
But
You gotta go to Kmart to get those.
but yeah, man, they let me get one CD, and I remember, and Hybrid Theory had been out. I think In the End had been out on the radio by then, which ended up being a top 5 hit. Which for a rock band was really good still at that time, which I'll go into more of that here in a little bit. But man, I remember when I first got that CD and I put that sucker in my CD player, when Paper Cut came on, it changed me for real.
Yeah.
There's something about it. There's something about it. It's just, I was like, hey, this is, and I felt like for the first time, this is mine. You know what I'm saying? This is my music. This isn't my dad's music. This isn't my mom's music.
Yeah,
This is what I grew. This is mine. You know what I'm saying? And Meteora, I love it all except for their new album. That was trash, but
Yeah, and then it's probably going to be wrong, but then like Mike Shinoda did like that whole Fort Minor thing, like tried to branch out with the rap stuff or what. I was like, man, just stay with Linkin Park and you'll be fine. But also too, another big one I forgot about was System of a Down. Like
System of a Down was very good. I remember getting a CD for Christmas.
Yeah, and I remember, and that's how I listened to it. Actually, somebody burned a copy of the CD, and they just were like, "Here, check out System of a Down." And like, I mean, I think the thing that made that kind of stuff, like Linkin Park, that kind of stuff, so good was that at the exact time there was nothing else, no one else was doing that kind of thing.
No, what'd you think about Korn?
Dude, I still fucking love Korn.
Man, hey. I did get to see them live back in 2019.
Yeah, dude, Korn.
That was fucking sweet.
Yeah, the Korn thing is funny. I actually got that from my oldest brother. I got 3 brothers or whatever, but my oldest brother Chris, he was definitely into Korn, and I always thought the name was kind of weird. And then I remember like, getting older, whatever, and seeing someone with a T-shirt, and then seeing the music videos like "Got the Life" and stuff like that on MTV. Yeah, I think, and it's weird. I think that's where my music stuff comes from. Is like I remember being young and hear my brother listen to Ozzy Osbourne. I was like, "What is that?" He was like, "It's Ozzy Osbourne." I was like, "That's really weird." So I mean, when I think about where my music stuff started, I actually know the exact moment. Actually, the exact moment that I decided that a normal life is like bullshit, and I just want to play music, or like I was 8th grade at a talent show. I played with Josh Belcher and this kid named John Mollahan, and we did Paranoid. Actually, we played Paranoid in 8th grade, and it was a last-minute thing too. I got to skip class all day and sit in the auditorium and practice. But I was kind of a loser. Like I didn't have a lot of friends or anything like that. But after I played the show, that's how I got the girls. Stuff like that. Like, I was like, oh, that's all I got to do is go like this for a couple seconds, and that exact moment, that feeling, I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, because I think I was into skateboarding at the time too. So that after that moment, I was like, I just want to worry about playing guitar and music, stuff like that. So that was the exact moment. I remember it specifically going, well, my life's ruined now. It's all about rock and roll. Like.
I mean, listen, hey, that's the one thing, man. I remember even getting a bass guitar. I tried to get a bass guitar for Christmas a couple years, probably back like 2010, 2011. I was like, man, I want to play a guitar. I want to be able to play an instrument. Man, mad respect to every single person that plays a guitar or plays a bass or plays drum, man, because that shit is not an easy thing. It is not. It is not.
I appreciate it, man. But also too, it used to be a lot cooler than it is now. Like, I remember like when I was learning to play guitar, and starting to get good at it and stuff. It was still really cool, but then like tablatures blew up on the internet, and then everybody's playing guitar. Like, so guitar players are like a dime a dozen now. Like you can go to YouTube and everybody's just shredding really fast and stuff like that. So it's like now when I have to say I'm a guitar player, I have to go, but wait a second, I know what I'm doing. Like, I have to it's not like being a drummer or something where everybody's like, that's badass. I have to be like, but I'm good at it. Like, so that part kind of sucks, but
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I mean, speaking of Corn, what was your first album of Corn? Do you remember, or first song that you remember, or
The
which
first song, I don't remember the album. I have to look it up because I just don't want to get it wrong. But it was the one that had like "Falling Away from Me" on it, and
Issues? Was it? I think it was
I
Issues.
think I think that's what it
It
was.
was. Yeah, yeah.
It had a few other tracks on there that were just really fucking good. And my dad actually owned that CD, so it was funny because I don't think my mom knows it. So sorry, mom. But like we were always in the car if she wasn't there, and my dad was playing like Slayer or
Yeah.
Slipknot or Korn, stuff like that. And yeah, that album. I remember I got really into it with my brother and like, summer break from school and stuff like that. We were always listening to Korn, stuff like that. Yeah, so it would have been that album. And then after that's when you just kind of search up more songs by yourself. But yeah, it's probably Issues, I think.
Hell yeah, man. That's man. I remember. I think it was. I remember seeing like, of course, Got the Life. Falling Away from Me. Shit like that on TRL. Because
Yeah.
I remember, I think Korn is one of the only bands actually to have a video retired from TRL because it won so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
remember that. It
know,
was like played so fucking much
and
that they
and
stopped doing
and
it.
yeah, and the thing is, man, what Korn was going up against at the time, you talking about boy bands. We're talking NSYNC. We're talking
Yep.
about Backstreet Boys. We're talking also Britney Spears
It was
in the late '90s. Those were the band. Those were
yeah.
the groups or bands. Korn was competing with that and still
Well,
getting views. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and they're still together now, like doing
yeah,
shit. But two, then there's all that pop stuff, and then I still remember, you had like because of music videos, people. That's a stupid thing to say, but not because of music. But like rap was a really big thing too, like seeing like G Unit and 50 Cent, and like because then you had like Chingy and Ti and Snoop Dogg and all these fucking people like having music videos on MTV, but then you still have Corn like pushing through it is
oh yeah.
yeah, dude.
That
It's
that's what's so good about Korn, and to what we talked about before was Linkin Park. Linkin Park seemed like that one band that continuously pushed through. Especially in the 2000s. Later in the 2000s, Linkin Park was still top 5, top 10 singles in a hip hop dominated time frame.
oh
And
yeah.
and that was so good to see. Now rock wasn't as dominant as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And I remember, man, speaking of Corn, I remember the first CD I got. I remember it was for Christmas. It was our sixth grade year. Take a Look in the Mirror come out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
man, I remember I got a stereo player, maybe a game from a PS2, and I got Take a Look in the Mirror and Toxicity by System of a Down was another one I got. And
Yeah.
man, when I first turned that on, when Right Now came on, like, and then man, when Did My Time came on, man,
Yeah.
to this day,
D-
man, when I'm driving, it's like, man, I'm going 70. Okay, I'm going 85 now.
Yeah.
You
Dude,
know?
I love I actually remember like one time I actually got a speeding ticket. There's a band, I don't think they are around anymore, but there was a band called White Wizard, and they had a song called High Speed GTO. And just the way the song was, I remember going, that stretch in Elkview from like the four-way intersection over to like where the Burger King and shit is.
Yeah.
Uh, I was going through there and it's like 50. I think I ended up punching like 75, 85 miles an hour and a cop just flies by me. I was like, well, fuck, here we go. Like, but so he was like, what are you doing? I was like, sorry, my radio was too loud. Like, rock and roll, man. Like, it's weird that it does that. But it was great,
Uh, uh,
man. So,
oh man, I love it. I really do, man. There's something about rock music that just it, it just hits a part in your soul or your body that
yeah.
just you know you know especially seeing some of these bands, getting to see some of these bands live like Slipknot, Linkin Park, you know, Marilyn Manson, even though he's facing some whatever shit
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
That-
Papa Roach, even, you know, shit like that.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
dude. Yeah, I remember like when Papa Roach had that was around the same time. I was trying to think. I had a mixed CD, had Papa Roach and someone else on it, but I just remember there was like Trapped. Like even though they're like not a thing anymore, but you know at the time they had they were really popular with the Headstrong song and then like Papa Roach with Last Resort. But there and then too at the same time when you started getting like All American Rejects in there and stuff like that. Uh, and I remember like those CDs coming out and going, I'm not gonna listen to that. And now I'm sitting here like turning the shit on, and I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? Like,
I think a lot of it is, and this goes back to me listening to Fall Out Boy. You know, I was not a big Fall Out Boy guy. I was not big into the emo scene. If you go back to 06, 07, 08, I was not big in that emo scene. I was not. Just wasn't me.
yeah,
Now, as I've gotten older, I think it has to do with nostalgia. I think it has something to do with, hey, when you hear that song, you think about good times. You think about, hey, man, this is me growing up. This is me being 13, 14, 15 years old again. And I think you hear that song and you're like, man,
makes
you
you
know
think
what?
of that stuff.
And it does, you know. Now, you know, All American Rejects, Fall Out Boy, Fall Out Boy now is, you know, one of the bigger rock bands. You know, I know they've kind of changed some things up a little bit and everything like that, but
what about there was the band AFI.
AFI.
And
I
then
like AFI.
and the other spectrum was punk music. Like when I didn't even know really what the fuck it was happening in the punk scene, and then I had a girlfriend at the time who would always play the Clash.
Okay.
Yeah, and so going into college, kind of got into that kind of stuff, like the Clash and the Ramones and Rancid stuff like that. And then it was funny when I joined this band that I played in. We played a couple songs by the Misfits, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I'm willing to learn it. And then like I got really super into it, and stuff, and so I just met there. I always thought that you would the music that you found was what it was, but you just, even at 30 years old, I'm still finding shit that I'm just going, oh, that's amazing, I like it. But the one thing I did figure out though is interesting is, when you think about people right now who are like 60, 70, 80 years old and they're listening to oldies, and you're like, why it's apparently it's like that music you find when you're young where you go, oh shit, that really hits you. That's why. So, when we're 70, 80, we're still going to be listening to, the shit that we're listening to now. It's just because it's the stuff that hits you the hardest. But, and then, with music, I started getting into recently just records, like vinyl records.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a huge fucking, like, I got a stack of them over here. And, like, I went and picked up, like, the Misfits or whatever.
Okay.
And, but one that was cool was I actually got two that's cool. So we got Jimi Hendrix or whatever.
Okay.
It's but I the other one, this one's hilarious. I got into finding like soundtracks for movies that I like.
Okay. Yeah.
So do you remember this fucking movie? Hold on. This fucking movie right here.
Oh, Breakfast Club.
Oh, Breakfast Club. Like that shit was always on TV or whatever.
Damn.
Like, yeah. See, I remember seeing the Breakfast Club always on TV and like always watching it. When it came on.
Yeah.
But then like the soundtrack to it's actually like good music or whatever. So yeah, movies are a big thing too. But
I hate to cut you off there. What were you gonna say?
I would just say, like, I think we're starting to come back around to a time where people like having physical music, like cassettes, and it's blowing up right now. I remember around Christmas time, I went to Walmart or something like that, and their whole vinyl section was just empty. Like everybody's just buying all this, stuff because their kids want it for, holidays and stuff. It's crazy that it's making a comeback, I think.
Let me go grab my vinyls real quick.
Yeah, man.
Let me show you real quick. Hold on one second.
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. So now I just started collecting these probably within this year. So I'm not too novice in this. I'm not a Okay. So you heard me at the beginning say that Pink Floyd is the greatest band of all time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Animals.
yeah.
I found this. This was a great one. Um, another one here. Men at Work.
Dude, see, and that's the thing. It's like bands like that. No one's just like yelling the name out, but then when you hear it, you're like, hell yeah,
Man.
dude! Like, it's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, I love this album. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it completely. You know, it's anytime that you think about the 80s, that's one of the songs you think about was Laying Down Under. Well,
yeah,
who can it be now? I mean, two #1 singles off this album
yeah.
already. Plus, it was a #1 album already. I mean, great album. Um, Back in Black, AC/DC. I think my mom got this for me for Christmas. This is brand new. This isn't one of the old ones. Both of those were the original ones.
Yeah.
Now, my dad got me this one, Foreigner. This is the original one. Head Games by Foreigner. This is a solid album. Now, this one right here, this is one of my favorite Van Halen albums.
1984.
1984.
Fuck yeah, dude. 1984. Dude, did you see that episode of Family Guy where I know it's off topic, but it's Peter gets really into Van Halen. Like Lois is like, you need to read more books, and he goes to the library and he's like, let me get the book 1984, and she gives him like a copy of Van Halen 1984. Like he's always blasting Panama and shit. Like it's funny. Like I got a couple over here. I like to go out and try and find old or like original records or whatever.
Yeah.
But hold on. I'm just trying to find it. Oh, like this Toto, like fucking Toto,
what,
like
what Toto songs are on that? Tell me real quick.
It's got Child's Anthem, Till Supply the Love, or I'll Supply the Love, but it's got the hit, Hold the Line.
Hold the Line, okay.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people think of Toto, they think of Africa or whatever, but like they actually have some other songs. But here was the thing. So I also got the Back in Black, but mine's the original.
Here, it's the original. I can tell.
I stole it from my mother. I mean, but
real quick, I do have this one. This is off topic. This is the Eminem show. But other than that, that's all I got. Real quick for you.
No, it's all good. It does. See, that's the thing that I like too, is you're starting to be able to find shit like that on vinyl. It's stuff like Eminem, and you're being able to find a lot more than just like old rock albums and stuff like that. But that was the thing, was like trying to find old ones or whatever. There's a couple in here. I'm just like trying to go through them. Like, yeah, man. Like Bob Seger, stuff like that.
Do you have any like Rat or anything like that, Motley or anything? Or?
I do. Hold on, check out this Motley Crue. It's the one I'm looking for. See, like I also stole my mom. Like I stole my mom's like Highway to Hell. But this Motley Crue one, Eric Clapton, and I stole this old like Janis Joplin one because it's like in concert. Wow. But it's one of the cool ones that like opens up kind of thing.
Wow.
But
that was different. It's different time.
Hell yeah, dude. There's a specific one I'm trying to find. I hope it's sitting here. Okay, it's not sitting here on my lap. I'd have to go downstairs to get it. But at the record store in Canal City, the Budget,
yeah.
I found the original Motley Crue "Shout at the Devil" that still has the pentagram on the front. I swear to God.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. It's downstairs or whatever, because I got a whole bunch down at the record player down there.
When did you find that? You went about. It was last year or so.
2018 or so. I went in there. Yeah, I went in there and he was like, "Hey man, I got a whole bunch of like rock records I haven't like priced yet. If you want to look through them." And I found like old Kiss records, stuff like that. But I was in there buying. They had a 30th anniversary of Girls from Motley Crue.
Bro, did you buy it?
Yeah, I got it. It's
Shut the fuck up. Let me see that. Let me see that.
I don't know where the front part. I don't know where the actual like big sleeve is.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
they did this, but the cool thing was they printed it on like black and blue vinyl, like marble
Oh,
kind of shit. But the actual outer casings downstairs. But so I went in there to get that, and he was like, "Oh, I got some other vinyls shit." So I found Motley Crue, "Shout Out the Devil," and it still had the pentagram on it and shit like that.
oh
And
wow.
so I was like, I gotta have that right now because apparently it was like a big controversy over the pentagram thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they sell it now with just their faces on it. But I found an original one from 1981 or 82, something like that, or whenever the fuck it came out. I don't want to get the date wrong because then I'll look like a poser. But but yeah, like so
Yeah.
finding old ones like that. I have a friend. She'll text me from time to time when she finds like old records like that. She got a like an import Black Sabbath Paranoid album from way back then that
Yeah.
that was written in another language too. It's like Russian or something, like a Russian print or something. But yeah, I mean, I still got CDs and stuff too. But I just think that people are starting to get fed up with the ads with music. Like with streaming services and stuff like that. And there's something about a vinyl record, like when you put it on, you can't just pause it.
No.
You
You
have
listen to the whole
to
thing. You
you
listen to
got
the entire
you,
thing.
you got to listen to it, and it's cool. It's like our album's out on vinyl, and then right now our bass player and stuff they're working on turning it into cassettes. So we'll have cassettes to sell and stuff like that at shows. But yeah, I mean it's all. We're actually going to send you a digital press pack, so you have just a free copy of the album or whatever. So I'm gonna hit you up with that link. You know,
Oh shit.
this evening. I'll send it to you.
Oh
But
fuck.
yeah, dude.
Appreciate
I
that, man.
Yeah, man. It's a weird spot because we without talking about it too much, we just had COVID and all that kind of bullshit last year.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like the whole entire world was on pause.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was crazy. Like
Yeah,
I've never remember anything like that in my entire life that happened.
yeah. And
It
so now
was
that everything's coming back, I mean, I'm happy that it's coming back around summertime. It's my favorite is summertime. But it's like we got shows now. Like May 15th, we're playing at the Empty Glass. And the reality sitting here going, you got 3 weeks to be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of a month or 2 months, like we got 3 weeks and our asses better be ready. And it's been over a year since we've gotten to play a show. So it's yes, you're still getting like that nervousness, like that stage fright first time. But what I'm saying is like I don't remember my original point, but it's it was the physical thing. Like, we had
Yeah,
the digital copy out and stuff, and then
yeah.
we got the vinyl coming, and then our bass player and stuff, and they were working with the record label and stuff. They were like, we can turn it into cassettes, so we have cassette copies and shit like that, and people are just digging the fucking physical
Oh,
forms of music again, and it's a really nice feeling, you know.
yeah. I
So
I love it. I really do, man. I really do.
we're digging
Like
it.
there's albums that I want for these now. It's one of those things, man, because I love these forms of media. I love these forms of music. I love the vinyl aspect of it. Even
Right.
cassette CDs. My dad is still to this day, with iPhones, everything. He has one of those. He will not put music on it.
I don't
He
either.
wants CDs. He wants CDs. He is a
Yeah.
CD guy. You know what I'm saying? He grew up with cassettes, but hey, CDs came out. But the thing is, man, with these, it feels real. It really
Yeah,
does.
it
It feels
does.
like, man, you're going in a time machine, and like, man, if I want to listen to fucking Pink Floyd, Animals, I'm gonna listen to that sucker A and B. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
And that's
remember
it. Yeah.
last summer, or well, this past summer, I had to drive someone's car and it didn't have auxiliary or Bluetooth in it. I had to like pick out like 3 or 4 CDs that I wanted for the day and like
Yeah.
take them in their car. It was the old feeling because I just remember having like when I was a teenager, had my car, my passenger seat was just full of CDs, and then just like you would flip through them and find something you wanted to listen to, and instead of whatever. But I'm excited for summertime, man. I'm a big outside person, big summertime person. growing some tomatoes actually right now. It's like a whole nother like whole nother spectrum, dude. Like instead of fucking rock music, I'm sitting outside with these like gloves that got like flowers on them and shit like that. Outside, like, I'm just like, man, I want to eat some tomatoes and shit because I'm outside grilling and stuff. But the other part that I love is like my neighbors around here like to sit outside at the fire pit. So
Yeah.
like that whole just sitting around with people having a couple drinks at a fire pit is we're getting out of winter time. So I'm just really excited to be able to go outside, you know. So
Hey man, I love this is my favorite time of the year. I know today
yeah, fuck
for
what the
some
fuck,
fucking
Fish?
reason it was snowing.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we gotta go sledding in May almost. Like,
Yeah, it's almost fucking May. Well, here we are. I was looking out the window today. I was working. I work from home and everything. I'm sitting there. I look up, man. It's fucking just spitting snow, spitting.
yeah,
I'm like, what are we doing? What are we
yeah,
doing? Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I don't know who it was. If I knew their name, I'd say it. I don't give a shit. They on Facebook they were like, if it's cold one more day, I'm gonna put my Christmas tree back up. I was like, I was like, yeah, probably almost, but yeah, no, it's great. Like, my neighbor has a motorcycle. Like, I got a
yeah,
motorcycle, so we're excited for summertime to maybe get a couple of rides in and stuff like that. So it's not
yeah.
just. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not all about the music. There's other little things, about
So
that kind
so on the music aspect with your band and everything. So when are you guys playing? Are you guys playing live this summer, or are you
Oh
guys?
yeah, dude. We're really excited about it. We're trying to get in gear because we got a new bass player and dude, he's a badass, by the way. Like, uh, yeah. Like, this is going to be a weird comment, but like when I saw him play bass for the first time, I was like, oh, okay, like he can really fucking play. So we're set. Like, we got the other guitar players. His name is Nick. And the only reason why I'm forgetting names is I'm like 5 Modelo's deep right now. So you gotta like give me a second. But so
Forgive
we got
me.
yeah, we got Nick on guitar, and Chris is playing the drums. And the thing I love about his drumming too is it doesn't matter what we're playing,
Yeah,
like he can just do it. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. He just play whatever the fuck he can do it. And we got Aaron singing, and the bass player's name is Justin. There we go. It took me a second. But anyways, like we got a great group of guys, and like what I'm trying to say is like we're all like we get along. We're all
that's
having a
good,
good
man.
ass time. You gotta have that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like we all click, and then we ended up waking up to a text one day from our singer Aaron. He was like, "Guys, we got people wanting us to play shows." It's like we spent the past year, practicing with nothing in sight. Like, it wasn't, it was just to hang out. And so now we got the summer booked. We got a show May 15th at the Empty Glass, May 29th at Sam's Uptown Cafe,
Okay.
Charleston. And that place is cool because they have really good food. And that's one of my favorite parts about like playing shows is if somewhere has food. I
Yeah,
love to
definitely.
eat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love to eat. So and then the other one that we got is it's kind of neat. It's weird. Is Huntington Comic Con in June 5th and 6th. They actually have us playing there, and so yeah, our whole summer is just starting to like slowly pile back up in it, and it feels normal, but
Mhm.
also kind of weird at the same time. It's like, oh, now I actually have to do something. Like, I have to practice and again and be good at it. Because where we just spent a year literally not playing shows, it felt like it did. I got really into like playing video games and shit like that during COVID. So it's now I have to switch back into the music kind of mindset, I guess. But yeah, our summer's booked up, and we're really fucking excited about it, man. Like,
That's
that it
awesome. That's
yeah, and it's not just the 30-40 minutes that you're on stage. It's also like when you get there and all the bands are hanging out having a beer and telling stories. There's just like an atmosphere, in the place, and even like a weird smell. It's probably everyone's sweat, but like there's just like a smell in there, and it's great. I love it. So we're really excited about it, but at the same time I'm also excited about all the other shit that comes with summertime. Just even standing outside and feeling the air on your body and stuff like that. So I I don't know. I've just been in a good fucking mood lately, I guess. So
That's what it's all about, man. Hey, when you guys do play anywhere in Charleston or anything, man, let me know. I'll come on down. I would love to see you guys play. What kind of influences, would you guys say that you guys have? Like, if you guys would have pick somebody that you guys sound like, or kind of go off
I
of,
don't even know
or
anymore.
just a little bit of everything. Is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Like our singer, he's really into, and I think our drummer too. I just don't want to speak for someone else, but they're really into punk music, but they also like everything else. But just specifically, like Aaron's always talking about Black Flag and tons of bands that when they talk about them, I don't know who they are because I was always in, to the '80s thing or whatever, but they just get like excited about it, and so I think that helps though, where everybody's got different influences. It's
makes it better, honestly.
yeah, like we have a new song. Nick, our other guitar player, Nick, he came into practice one day with the song, and we're just like fucking around with it eventually, and like in the middle of the song we just throw in like this ska thing, like so, and I don't know how to play ska music very well, so I just kind of stand there, and I was like, maybe I could whip out a kazoo or something like that and just start blowing on it. But I just, man, we're having fun. Like we got it's like a fresh start. We got a new practice space. We got shows coming up. I guess we're probably at some point going to start working on new tunes for like a new album, but like, so everything's just new, so it's like it almost feels like we're a new group, and we're all really excited just to see what's gonna fucking happen. But
that's
it's like,
awesome, man.
Yeah, dude,
that's fucking sweet. Like, is there like a feeling that you get? Because, man, there's always been this thing with me. I love rock music. I love the guitar. I love everything about it. Is there like a thing that you feel when you're on stage and when you have everything going? Is there like a feeling to it that you just fucking love? Like, what? Tell me about that. Tell me more about that.
I'm getting it right now while you're talking about it, because you were getting kind of excited.
I love it.
He was getting kind of excited about it, and I'm just sitting here like I'm already getting antsy, like I'm ready for it.
I love it.
The main feeling in your body is, I would say, adrenaline. Like your veins are popping out of your skin, and you're going 110 miles an hour. But at the same time, there'll be certain moments when everybody just kind of clicks, like all the guys click together, and you just kind of feel in sync. So you're just like, fuck yeah, like you just have that. Yeah, it's I'm gonna say it's really like taking drugs, man. Like I don't think there's any like other activity I could describe that could really touch on that feeling. But it's also a blur. Like we'll play a show, like we played a show or something, and next thing I know we're on the last song, and I'm like, oh well, that's done. But it is kind of funny because afterwards you do hit like a downswing. Like you're on a super high when you're on stage, and then when you come off, you're just kind of like, you're not bummed, but you're just kind of like, well, that's over. So your body's trying to come back to normal. It's like when the hawk goes down to the other guy, like when he goes back to being, that's what it's like. But it's great. I still get stage fright, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. So I drink. That's my solution, which is not a good solution, but it's my solution. So like I'm still scrambling beforehand. Like we played last year, we played at the Adelphia in Marietta, and I remember right we were doing like sound check and stuff. I went running over to the bartender lady, and I was like, "Can I get 2 shots of like Crown Royal right now? Like right now, need it. Like I'm not drunk enough to do." But it works. Like I'm just worried about like fucking up in front of people and then being like, "Oh, he fucked up." Like.
Yeah. See, that would be my problem, man. Because I always, man, I was honestly, I don't know if you ever know this, but I was thinking about doing the talent show. It would have been like our junior or senior year.
Right.
And this is when Rock Band was out, right?
Right.
Rock Band just came out.
Well, that's a big thing, man.
I like I said, man, I can't play an instrument. I respect the people that do. You know what I'm saying? I tried it. Can't do it. But anyways, I would go to my buddy's house on the weekends, and we would play Rock Band and get fucking sloshed. Like, get fucked up. We would act like rock stars, this and that. You know, we'd have guitars, the whole guitar solo, everything about it, whatever. You know, and I had this idea one night. I was probably drunk or something like that. And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to sing in the talent show. I'm going to sing I'm going to sing Welcome to the Jungle."
Oh my god, dude! Fucking Guns N' Roses. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god.
I'm thinking like, I was like, I'm going to sing Guns N' Roses in the fucking talent show in front of the whole fucking school. And I'm going to put like a wig. I'm thinking, like, man, I'm going to put a wig on. Like, I'm going to get like fake tattoos like Axl Rose. You know, the whole fucking shebang bang.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what happened. Maybe I just pussied out. I probably just pussied out. That's what it was. You know, but yeah, I never did it. Like I even went to Miss Silver. And I was like, hey.
Silver nasty.
I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. She's like, okay. She's like, you can come to me and, you know, I'll let you know if you should do it or not. Like I was going to sing. I was going to, you know, welcome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just never did it.
It's those nerves because
it's nerves.
It's the worst. But the thing is, I think you could have pulled it off because you were like relatively popular, like well known in high school. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like people, you know, like Zach Garcia and people like that. You know, everybody. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like I think that even if you would have hit a wrong note or something, you kind of had that like pull to you where people have been like, "Fuck yeah, I'll just do it." You know,
just go with it.
Just fuck it. Yeah, he's doing it. Yeah. So I think it could have worked. I was going to do a solo song, but Miss Silver ended up having me do something with her and Nathan Stanley or something.
Okay.
So I play a song. It was okay. But I think that was the shittier thing too about like where we grew up is there wasn't as many musicians as there were everything else.
No, there wasn't. I mean, honestly, outside of like, you know, you, Josh Belcher, you know, Joseph Hoffman, you know, those guys, you know, Nick Young.
Yeah.
You know, outside of those guys, man, there really was not a lot. And, you know, Nathan Stanley maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but outside that or J.D. Rucker, you know,
y'all
those guys, you know, there was not a lot of musicians in, you know, around the area. You know, I know you have Brett Young, you know, Brett Wood.
Yeah, the twin.
You know,
the twin. You know, the twin. Called him the caveman, I think. Everybody called him the caveman or whatever.
Yeah, man. Those dudes, man, they could play. You know what I'm saying?
I think they still do. I think they're still doing something.
I think they still do. I know that one of them joined the military. You know, I know Nick will talk to him occasionally and everything like that. I'll see him on Facebook. Man, those are some good guys though. But they still play a little bit. Who else?
I know there was like Cody Conway, but he was
he's
a little older than us. We went to school with this kid. He was like a senior when we were like freshmen or sophomores or something. Chad Good was his name.
Chad Good, okay.
He had at the time he in high school had like long fucking like red hair. He was like an ultimate metal guy, but he could play circles around anybody else at the time. But there was just a handful of people. Everybody else was either into sports or like hunting. Shit like that, you know. Everybody wearing camouflage on a Monday, like well. I mean, I'm not gonna say this teacher's name, but just because I don't know if I think he's still teaching. But we had a teacher. He used to like rub snuff in class. You know what I'm saying? Like he was spitting.
Who was it?
You know who it is.
Oh, I probably do.
Starts with a D.
Last name starts with a D?
Yeah. He taught civics class.
Oh. Dalton?
No, Duncan.
Oh.
Yeah, Duncan. I'm just saying that, like, the high school we went to, our teachers were using tobacco in the middle of class. Like, you know, we didn't, you know, but it was a lot of fun, though. I guess where there wasn't so many people, you could make better friends and stuff like that. Like, I actually ended up being really good friends with the cooks, which is a weird thing to say. But I used to, like sneak into the kitchen and get like extra super donuts and shit like that, or like sneak out on the loading dock and smoke a cigarette or something. But
Yeah,
it's
man. Would would you have went to the reunion if they had it?
no.
No.
But dude, it was the funny fucking thing about that, dude, was I remember
No,
like
no.
when they were selling tickets online, they were like, nobody's buying tickets to this shit. And then, in the middle of COVID, they say that they canceled it because of COVID, but it was also because they sold like 35 tickets or something. Like
Yeah.
nobody was going to. Well, what I thought was bullshit was like you had to pay for a ticket, and then when you got there, you had to pay for food or pay for alcohol and stuff like that. Like you had to pay so much money. I'm like, I'll just call you on the phone. Like if I want to reconnect with you that bad, like I'll reach
Yeah.
out. So
See,
I know I'm gonna do that.
me personally, man, I think 10 years is too soon.
Two,
First off,
yeah, 15. I mean, 15 years. Like,
honestly, call me a fucking 20. You know,
yeah,
I got nothing against those guys or anything like this. The people that set it up or anything like that. I've known a lot of them since kindergarten or whatever the case is.
yeah.
But, you know, I wouldn't have went. I wouldn't have.
No,
I just couldn't. It's not that I don't like the people that I went to school with. I like the people I did. It just, I just couldn't do it.
well, also think that because of Facebook, we already knew what everybody was into. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna be a surprise at a high school reunion that you're doing whatever with like 45 kids. Like we can see it on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's a few people that like if they would have gone, I might have gone to reconnect with or something just because they're not on social media or like I don't have a way to contact them or something, but not enough that I give a shit about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, they'll do another one probably. Was it like do they do one every 10 years or something?
Yeah. Usually every 10 years.
So you'll get what
Yeah.
you want. Like in 20 years, 20 years after. So
2030, baby.
2030, 20. That's
2030,
what
baby.
we're waiting on the next decade. If
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know what? It's kind of fucked up, but it's hilarious. From time to time, I like to get on that website that's got like people's mugshots when they've gotten arrested and see how many people we went to school with have like been on there, whatever. And there's so many of them, dude. There's so many.
Oh,
Like
man.
that. Whatever. It's
Hey,
like,
I might ended up on that one night.
every day that I go to bed and I'm not on that website, I'm like, okay, at least I'm doing something right. I'm doing
Yeah. Hey,
something.
man.
Fucking-
The thing is, honestly, man, I've had friends that have gotten in trouble. They just been in ruin the wrong place at the wrong time kind of thing, You know, now with the repeated ones, okay, maybe you're fucking up. You know what I'm saying? But
one time just because you got a drunk driving thing one time is
yeah,
fine.
I mean,
I've driven drunk. I didn't
yeah.
get caught, but who hasn't?
I've,
um,
I'm not proud of it.
It's funny. The
I've
first time I guess I could say that I ever got drunk, I didn't know that I was drunk, but this is a pretty good story. So, do you remember Nathan Cart? I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't. I'll say his name because like he's not on Facebook. But so it was. It was.
Yeah.
We used to go
Yeah.
to. He was one of my best friends. I've known him since I was like 4. But his grandma used to let us come over to her house on New Year's Eve and shit because she had like a pool table and stuff like that. And so it was me and him and Zach Arcee and like
Zach Varsity.
yeah, someone else. So you got to think we were young enough that we didn't know shit about beer or alcohol, or whatever. So everybody's asleep, and we sneaked down. Me and Zach. It was me and Zach. We snuck downstairs, and we got into his grandma's booze, and we got a couple beers, and was sipping on them. And the next day, I woke up so fucking sick. I was like, dude, I drink like one, maybe half a beer or something like that. And I just remember like throwing up everywhere and his grandma trying to give me tutors and shit like that. I'm like, dude, I can't even smell that right now. But I don't think they ever knew. I think we were able to keep it together that they didn't know that we got into her alcohol. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But
I remember the first time that I think the first time I ever got alcohol I remember me and my cousin snuck into my mom's Smirnoffs in 8th grade. But the first time, man, I'm not gonna say any names, but the first time I ever got it at like alcohol beer wise, man. Oh man, was from a buddy's dad, man. It was a Coors Light,
Oh
man.
man.
Man, I was fucked up. Like
Yeah.
ninth grade, I'm fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I'm past
Uh,
that hump. I can drink some beers, but it's
yeah.
funny because just a couple weeks ago, I was sitting outside at the fire pit with a couple of my neighbors, and she's like, "Oh, I got some marijuana." I was like, "Oh, great, here we go." And she was like trying to see who once hits off off her joint, and she didn't bother to tell me that it was like really strong marijuana, and like I don't smoke weed, so I took. I'm not even gonna lie to you to try and sound cool. Like I took one hit off this joint, and I thought I was gonna die. Like I had to go, like I had to go put my head in the freezer for some reason. And then after that, I was like seeing sounds and shit, and I turned on the kitchen sink just for the noise for the water, and like was like crawling around on the floor. I opened the back door, like I opened the back door where the fire pit was, and I was like, I can't be out here, so I just slammed the door shut. I was like, bye, and just shut the door on him. And I just went and laid on my couch and just was like sweating it out. And that was like one hit. And they sit out there and smoke like two joints. And I'm just like, man, how do people do it? Like my brother's really into like smoking a lot. Like he'll be like, "Do you want to play some video games or something?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "Well, let me smoke first." And he'll just go hit like my brother asked me to smoke weed with him one time, and I hadn't smoked weed at the time since like college or something. So I was taking like huge hits off these joints because I thought it was just like some chill marijuana like we would have got back when we were in high school, but it wasn't. So I took like I don't know like 6 or 7 huge hits off this joint, and next thing I know, like I ate a bag of powdered donuts with no drink, and then like threw up all over the floor and like passed out till like 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's all I remember. Like I'm just gonna stick to alcohol, man. It's easier
Yeah.
for me to handle. But yeah, people that say around smoke a whole bunch of weed a day. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it, man. It,
Man, I love marijuana. I really
yeah,
do. I love it, man. I prefer it over alcohol, but man, I'll never forget the first time that I smoked weed. And before we do get off here, I'll go and tell the story. Um this is back like 2006, 2007. So it would have been like, freshman year. And if you remember back in the day, back in those times, it feels like so weird even saying that because it's like, man, I feel old as hell.
I do every day.
But but it's like, man, did you feel like back then like people looked at marijuana differently?
Oh yeah, because back then, if you were smoking weed, like you were the bad kids, like you were trying
Yeah.
to corrupt people. And nowadays, if you're not smoking weed, you're not cool. Like
Yeah.
it's like a whole reverse thing.
And that's what's so crazy is because of that. Like I remember, we went to school that Friday. And my buddies were like, "Hey man, we're going to be smoking weed this weekend for the first time ever,
First time.
first time ever." This is, my heart's beating. Like first time you lose your virginity, I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking like, oh man, what if I die? You know what I'm saying? But so we get over there. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to name any names, but we get over there. And I couldn't go over there the Friday night, but my buddies went over there already. They got to smoke, so I was a virgin going into Saturday night.
Right. Right.
I had no idea. And I remember, man, the guy that was there was like, hey, man, if you don't want to do this, just tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I respect dude, I respect the guy from this day on. That was really nice, man, because he didn't force me to do it, and I was like, yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it. Even though I feel like I was kind of peer pressured, but I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so we smoked the bowl out of my buddy's window on his roof, and I passed out on his passed out on his walkway, on his staircase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, dude, it was awesome. And I remember though going home the next day,
Yeah.
and his sister dropped me off at the house, And it's to my mom's house, man. I feel like I committed the biggest sin the
Yeah.
world had ever seen, man. Because at that time, man, we were always told that weed was the fucking devil. Like
Yeah.
weed, man. If you smoke weed,
But
like
that
you're gonna
the
fucking
devil's lettuce.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, your dick's gonna crawl up in your fucking scrotum and fucking, you know what I'm saying, or your dick's gonna fall off, or your
Oh
fucking
yeah, dude, they
yeah,
jamming that shit down our throats
yeah,
too. Like,
yeah, man.
it turns out it's not that bad. Like,
No,
I mean,
no,
I apparently I just haven't smoked enough weed to have that tolerance for it. It's alcohol's my thing, but it's it's fine, man. Just I have some friends that every so often they just sit around there smoking, whatever's fine. They're not hurting anybody. Like, like they don't like they'll drink, but I think for them they're like it's the same kind of thing. Like I like to drink to get, to have fun and get a buzz. They
yeah,
like to just smoke a little bit of weed. They're getting the same kind of buzz. Maybe it's a little better or something. But they're just trying to have a good time. Like they're not, trying to hurt anybody or whatever. But or
yeah,
my
man.
my younger brother, he's really into the whole smoking weed and watching like South Park kind of thing.
Yeah, that's me.
So they're watching
That's me.
yeah, or
Yeah,
watching
Parks
other
and Rec, Parks
parts.
and Rec,
Yeah,
Office. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, dude, I'm actually rewatching that right now. It's I love that show, man. But yeah, it is what I mean. People want to smoke weed, fuck it, just let them smoke it. I don't give a shit. They're not hurting anybody. It's all
yeah.
good.
That that's. I mean, dude. Honestly, man, I mostly smoke weed to sleep. I think it really helps me sleep. I had problems sleeping, so that really helps me out a lot.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's crazy how weed itself. When I was in the army, I couldn't smoke it. You know,
oh, you were? I didn't know you were in the army, man. See,
yeah,
like
man, yeah,
information
man,
I don't have.
yeah, man. I was in '09 to 2013. I was actually in. I signed up actually. Man, we had just turned 17, so it had been our junior year. And my entire life, man, my dad was in, my grandpa was in, my uncle was in Vietnam, other people as well.
Yeah,
But my entire life, that's all I grew up with. That's all I grew up with. I had Army, Marine posters in my fucking room, this and
right.
that. And as soon as I turned 18, my dad signed me out of school that day. And I went down to the Marine recruiting station. And I went down to the Army recruiting station. And this is my 17th birthday. Okay,
Right.
so we were still a junior in high school, and the Marines like, yeah, you can do this, but you have to wait. And I went to the Army, and they're like, oh, you can do this. You can do this split up program, and you can go to basic training this summer, and you could join a reserve unit, and then you could go back after your senior year. Man, you couldn't tell me no. You couldn't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
couldn't at the time, man. I went in. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And my parents had to sign off on the course and everything. And I went to basic training the summer between our junior and senior year. And I came back, man. Like, man, you couldn't tell me no. You just couldn't.
Yeah.
I remember coming back for our senior year. There's something, you know, I I loved it. I loved every second of it. You know,
Right.
being 17, I loved it. I loved it.
Did you actually get deployed anywhere? Did you
No,
have
man,
to go
I,
same?
I never did get deployed. I'm very thankful for that because
Yeah.
I knew many people. My brother-in-law, other people have been deployed multiple times. I didn't. Luckily I never was. But man, I love my time in the army. I loved it. It wasn't what I expected though.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I would have waited. I would have waited
Yeah.
because it wasn't the fact that I didn't love the army or I didn't love what I did. It was the fact that I felt like I wasted a year of high school because I'm investing myself. And when you sign that contract, man, you're investing yourself.
Right.
You invest it. It's a contract. It's not like a job where you can just say fuck it, I quit. You know what I'm saying? It
Oh
wasn't.
yeah. Yeah. You can't just be like,
No.
oh, done with that. Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do that. And joining that, It's something I've always wanted to do, and but I felt like I could have. I wasted a summer of high school. I wasted a year of high school almost going to drill once a weekend. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't regret it. I don't regret it.
No, I mean I never did anything like that, but like my father did and my grandpa did. Like my grandpa was in the Korean War, stuff like that, and he's telling me some pretty gnarly stories. Like I mean, I'll sit there and listen to him just because it's like crazy to think someone's lived through that or whatever, But no, see, I didn't know that. I don't. Is there anyone that like we went to school with or whatever that is still actively involved with some type of military? Because
I'm trying to think. I know that there's been a few people I know like Josh Jordan, Daniel Humsey, those guys. They were at Trevor Arcee.
Okay.
Zach Arcee's brother was in the Marines. I know he was in Japan a little bit.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
I mean, hell, those guys did more than I did.
Yeah.
Those guys were fucking, they're active duty. They fucking did this and that, But I'm trying to think, man. I'm trying to think. It doesn't ring a bell right now on who all was, in. But,
That's the thing. I don't think a lot of them did. A lot of them, though. Do you remember the whole thing when all the like? I don't know. I'll just say rednecks, whatever. I mean, we all are because where we grew up. But they were really into like hanging out in the Kmart parking lot.
Hey, that was me, man.
Yeah, they were really into hanging out in the Kmart parking lot, and like I'd be like, "What the fuck's that? What?" Like, but at the time, like I didn't have a lot of friends, so I was like, maybe, man, all the fucking cool kids are hanging out at the bottom of the Kmart parking lot in their trucks and shit like that. But I definitely, if I could go back, would. I mean, I think a lot of people in the world would do shit differently, but I would because I spent my time worrying about women, like, and now that I'm old enough, I'm like, fuck that shit, like, but. I mean, I think most people do. They spend their 20s chasing tail, but
yeah,
it's just I'm just now coming down off that to where I'm just like, man, I could have been to college like 2 or 3 times and like had a career or something, but I spent my time worrying about rock music, having a good time and the ladies. I was all about the ladies.
Oh man,
but.
It could be worse. I mean, you could be,
or something.
Yeah. I don't think
maybe in the next 10 years. Maybe in the next 10 years. That's
yeah.
That's really my only goal in life though, is to not be a homeless guy. Like if I'm like 50 and I'm not homeless, then I feel like I've made it. So it doesn't.
I mean, shit. You're not homeless now.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm telling you though, I don't. There's so much like today. I got so much. I get into so much bullshit around here. Like today, I was supposed to meet some guy and pick up a poker table because I was like, how badass would it be to have a poker table in your house? Just sit around like play cards and shit. It's like I built a bar downstairs. Like so last year mid COVID you couldn't go to bars and shit like that. So I built a bar downstairs in my kitchen, and it's got all the shit, darts, a disco ball, shit like that. But I've had a couple parties, so I just sit down at the bar and drink or whatever. And we got a Pac-Man machine. Like my friends have come over for parties and stuff. We got Pac-Man and stuff. I just put so much bullshit in this apartment. I don't. It's like a museum in here instead of like someone's house. So, but I'm just still just trying to have fun, man.
Yeah.
Just have a good time before I'm like 70 and old. It's like I like sitting outside grilling all the time. It's like the other day it was like 1:30 in the morning and I was outside grilling shrimp at like 1:30 in the morning. I have a reason to. I'm just let's go outside and grill some food. Like whatever. So it's it's like earlier today I played Grand Theft Auto with my brother.
Well, Grand Theft Auto.
Well, 5, but we're in one of those 5M like role playing servers.
Oh shit! So you play on PC? That's right. So you can
yeah.
Can you do like the Vice City mods and shit?
I could if I wanted. I just don't. But like right now we're playing. It's like the application is called 5M, but all the players in the game, they actually get like a role. Like you could be a cop or whatever. Like my guy's a truck driver and he sells methamphetamine. Like that's what I do in there, whatever.
Nice.
But so like we're doing that. Like I've been working on some music and stuff like that too. So like we got some new songs like we're working on, or I'll play a game or watch a movie or whatever. But really,
Man,
I'm
that's
just yeah, I'm just trying to like hang out, I guess, even if I'm by myself. I'm just trying to, not be stuck in some like life cycle where you're like, "Oh, I gotta work 9 to 5 today and then do it all again tomorrow." Like,
yeah.
I just want to have fun. So,
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, that's all. At the end of the day, man, that's all that matters, you know. And I
yeah,
respect the fuck out of that. Now, before we do end this,
yeah.
go ahead and tell me when you guys are playing live.
Hmm.
Uh, that way, for anyone watching, if they want to go ahead and watch you guys, and I definitely want to get you back on, here
Dude,
soon. I
yeah.
enjoyed this. Yeah,
Well,
I enjoyed.
I'll change locations next time. If we come back on, I'll record from the bar downstairs or something,
Yeah.
or my lawn
Hey.
chair outside. Like, well, yeah, this is my music space, everybody. But we're playing so far next month. We got May 15th at the Empty Glass, and we got May 29th at Sam's Uptown Cafe. Early June, the 5th and 6th at the Huntington Comic Con, and there's some more stuff that'll be coming along probably. But yeah, I mean it's less than a month. Oh, one last thing, dude. You know what I'm really fucking excited for? You know what
What's
I'm really
that?
excited? The fucking Mortal Kombat movie that's coming out. Dude, I'm so excited for the Mortal Kombat movie. Like we haven't had one since like 1994, 95, something like that.
1994 was last time.
Somewhere around in there. I know there's gonna be a movie buff who watches this and they'll be like, he's so wrong right now. But somewhere in there, it's like 94, 95, 98. It's like it's been over 20 years.
Uh,
And we got Mortal Kombat coming out this Friday. I'm really excited to watch it. Like I
it's got the dude from the Last Samurai, I believe.
yeah, I think
If
so.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well,
Tom
I actually
Cruise. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was talking to my friends about it the other day, and I actually haven't been to the movie since that movie School of Rock.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So I'm learning that like the movies have like, reclining seats and all this kind of like shit happening at
Shit.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, for the music stuff, whatever, YouTube, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. We're all, Michael, we're gonna send you press release. I don't know the exact wording. Press release package, something like that.
Yeah, man, dude.
It's got all
That's
the
fucking
songs, couple photos, stuff like that.
dude. That's
And
fucking awesome, man. I appreciate the fuck out of that, dude.
yeah,
And if you want, man, dude, if you want to bring your band on, you know what I'm saying. Before, hey, man, I appreciate that. I like to meet those guys and everything, but I'll definitely go see you guys live and everything. And
yeah, you come.
you know,
We'll get you a couple free drinks or something. You come down.
hey,
Like,
listen, man, you don't gotta do that, but
well,
I
there's a lady at the Empty Glass who makes egg rolls. They're pretty
egg
good.
rolls.
Like, yeah, she sets out back and she makes egg rolls. They're pretty good. So I like to eat, but yeah. So yeah, Spotify, YouTube. We're actually on Apple Music. So all the platforms, and then
I'll
May
yeah, what
15th.
I'll do is I'll send me your information. I'll put it in the
Like
the
description.
description, and I'll put anything that way you guys links are there. So if you have anything, if you want to see his band, what's the name of your band?
It's Boldly Go.
Okay.
And yeah, the funny story about that was like uh right before we get off here, I was at work one day and my friend was like, he goes, my friend's making this band, it's called Bully Go, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But then like 2 weeks later, they text me, it's like, hey, do you want to play with them? I was like, okay, sure. Like, and then it's 2 years later and we're still doing this shit. I was looking over here because I thought I had a CD, like they sent us a CD in the mail somewhere. Uh but I probably can't find it. But yes, Bold to Go. We got an album out right now called United Federation of Punx. It's the album cover is pretty cool. We also have like T-shirts and shit like that you can buy, stickers, all that kind of stuff. But we're in, I would say, early talks of maybe a new one, like a second album.
Okay.
But, yeah. So it's either way. At the end of the day, it's a lot of fun. Just guys, hanging out, play some music, bullshit around stuff. So, but yeah, this summer we're trying to pack our whole summer full of music. So,
yeah, man. Hey, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate you
oh,
coming on.
dude, I appreciate you having me, man. Like, cause I mean, we can talk about
Yeah.
anything. It didn't have to just be music. Like, we talk about
Nah,
sports. We just talk about
it just kind of went on with it, So,
yeah, it goes everywhere. We'll have to do it again. Like,
dude, I
yeah,
want you back on, man, for real.
yeah.
It was a great conversation.
We'll do like we'll set up another one and let's do like story time or something. We'll just swap some nasty stories, man. We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that kind of thing.
Yeah, man. You think of some nasty fucking stories now.
We're gonna have to put one of those ratings on it though. Like definitely not.
This is explicit. Okay. Regardless. I put all these out just in case because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, you're gonna be the next Joe Rogan.
Man, I hope so. If I could be anything half of what Joe Rogan or Joey Diaz or anything like that, man, I'd be all right, dude. I really.
All right. Well, I'm not getting high on a podcast. I'll drink, but
hey.
We wouldn't be able to have a conversation. I'd just look at you. I'd be like I'd be dead. So.
Well, maybe next time I might smoke a blunt. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the fuck out of you coming on, man. I had a blast talking to you tonight.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate you coming on. You're a great guy, but we will be in touch. Send me the information so that way I can put it in the description. And I'm going to buy some merchandise because I want a shirt because I like shirts. You got any sweatshirts?
Yeah, you could get. We have one site that'll actually let you get sweatshirts or like tank top or sleeveless or.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'll send you a link. I'll send you all the shit in a link in a minute.
Yeah, man. Send me all that, dude. Like I said, man, you come on anytime. We'll set something up again. I enjoyed the fuck out of this conversation, man. You were a fucking great dude. Funny guy.
Yeah,
man.
Same. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like when you talk to people, like I like when it just flows. You know what I'm saying?
That's all.
You don't have that awkward silence or anything like that. So.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man. Send me the information you got and everything. And like I said, we'll set something up. Send me the information. I'll put it in the description for you guys. Any type of tour dates or anything like that. We'll go from there. And also, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, mine's off a little bit.
All right, man. All right. I'm going to go and jump off here. But, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do.
All right, man. Yeah, take care of yourself.
All right, man. All right, later.